The approach of this video is to provide the minimum information needed to start experimenting with recording and live streaming with OBS, and then go a little bit further from there. This is a screen capture of OBS 30.0 being recorded with OBS 29.1 from a second monitor. Download this free open source software OBS from obsproject.com. There are going to be 3 sections to this video. The first is the recording live streaming equation, which is going to introduce the fundamental equation. The second section is going to be step-by-step getting ready to go live in OBS, recording or live streaming. And then the third section is going to be live streaming lessons and checklists. So first, the recording live streaming equation. Video equals audio plus visual. Visual in OBS is what you see is what you get. What is inside of the black rectangle will be included in the recording or in the live stream. What is not in the black box will not be included. That's the visual rule. And the audio rule is capture and balance the correct audio sources, which we'll look at in the second section. So let's go to the second section, getting ready to go live in OBS. So a few things about the interface of OBS. First, it's very flexible and customizable, and there's different themes. We'll look in the end at the settings about adjusting themes, but your version of OBS may or may not have the same theme and may or may not have the same starting layout as mine here. However, different sections are able to be moved and dragged around. So it's very flexible and you can find out what works for you. One of the most important things are the scenes and the sources. So the scenes are like the different zones or moods that you want to be in. And I put scenes and sources in the same window because once I'm in a given scene, I'm only interested in looking at the sources. And the sources are broadly audio and visual contributions to the video. So the approach that we're going to take in this step-by-step is start with a fully working setup and then do a few actions that are important and see how to reconstruct those actions also from a blank slate, but here in the context of a working setup. And on the controls side, we'll look at the settings last, as well, and the studio mode penultimate. Streaming and recording do what you think. Recording saves it locally only. Streaming sends it remotely only, and you can hit both buttons at the same time. So first, let's balance the audio. In the audio mixer section, there are 2 audios here, condenser microphone and desktop audio. So I'm speaking locally on a physical condenser microphone, so it is spiking. And then here I'm going to bring in another audio source that's going to play locally. So this is connected to desktop audio, which means all outputs from desktop audio, right click, add, and then audio capture depending on the options. Audio input or output capture. Audio input capture is more like a microphone. Audio output capture is more like a local source. So let's balance the audio between the condenser and the desktop. The general principle is to be first to have them balanced, but second to have them near their full dynamic range. Right click, advanced audio properties, and I'm just going to resize this and move this window slightly. If it's quieter than peaking, that could be fine, but it might be too quiet and you might miss out dynamic range. And if it's too loud, then it's going to be too loud. So first I'm going to set the condenser microphone and I'm changing the percentage volume, just speaking in a normal way until it's peaking red, 449% in this setting, and then just pulling back a little bit, 383%. Now desktop audio. But it still peaked a little bit because I moved position, so I'm just going to pull it back more.
This composite node, this goal observation node with a goal prior. So what this says is do GFE-based optimization around this node.
This, just because it was playing out loud at my computer, it also spiked the condenser, which it wouldn't do if you were wearing headphones, which is a good reason to wear headphones. But here, the desktop audio was peaking, and I moved it up to 125% to be balanced. So now this could be a video that you're capturing and doing a reaction video with, or this could be a video chat and audio playing through your video chat. So if you're in the video chat room talking and needing to record, you need both the condenser microphone audio and the desktop audio, which is what you hear through your headphones. If you're using another computer to live stream from, or you're just live streaming the meeting and you don't need to speak through a microphone, you would only need desktop audio. So we're good on audio. Now let's go into cropping and window sharing. So here, source, add, window capture or screen capture. Here it'll be a window capture. They move around. You can resize, Control Z undoes. And you can do most of the operations that you expect, like Control C and Control V for copy and paste. One common thing to mention here is right click and properties is where you can crop. So here's a cropping view. Let's just say I wanted to show this video, but I wanted to remove the top bar of the browser or the YouTube sign. Then crop top, just using the scroll wheel or arrow keys or typing in a number. You can crop it to only the section that you want. So let's say just this section. That modified the object. I'm deleting the one that I copied. And now we can stretch it out more. You could also do different kinds of transformations and filters and things like that, rotating and so on. So again, to the big equation, audio plus visual. We're capturing both the microphone locally and the audio coming through the headphones, both sides of the conversation. We're featuring the main content that we want to feature, whether it's a video that you're playing locally or a YouTube video or a video conference. And then there's an image here, and then there's the text. So properties, right-click properties of the image. You could just change which image it's pointing to. You can also do in sources, right-click, add image. You can play all kinds of different things through those sources. And then modifying plain text. Right-click, properties, just typing out the text. Right-click, adding, and then different texts. Find out what works best on your computer and your setting. But that is all the information needed to recapitulate basically how this was live streamed just a few days ago in terms of the image, text, audio visuals, and the capture here was of Zoom. A few other notes: recording or streaming in studio mode. So here we are back in OBS. Clicking studio mode splits out into two screens. The one on the right is called program, and this is the one that's going live, whether to a recording or a live stream. On the left is preview. So this is kind of like the adjacent possible or the off stage. So then we could say, well, we know we're going to go to a break and I want the break to look like this. So on the right, the program is still showing the people talking and the audio is still being live. But then I know that we're going to switch to text and image only. And then when you hit transition, that goes live. And then you can say, okay, when we come back from break, I want it to look like this. And then transition, and you can modify the way that transition looks and how it fades out. So studio mode is pretty simple, and it's a good way to set up a scene. You can also switch to a different scene behind the scenes. So here, switching from this one, now we're in a different scene. And last, let's look through the general settings. Here is some of the theme information for how it looks and what language it's in. Stream, this is if you want to do live streaming where you can manually copy and paste in your stream key, which anyone who has that can stream to your channel, or you can do different kinds of logins. So there's different ways to stream. The output is the bit rate of the video and the audio, different encoder settings. Audio is which audio sources are which and what the audio mixer shows in terms of this spiking meter. Videos where you set the resolution and frame rate. Hotkeys, there's a lot of options for advanced OBS use to do different things with key combinations. Accessibility has different color options, and advanced has some further options, including stream delay and automatically reconnect, which are good to have enabled. And those are pretty much all the settings of OBS. There's also a lot of plugins and a lot of ways to level up and use OBS in really interesting ways. So that's all there's to say about composing the audio and the visual so that you can hit start recording. Last section of the video. Live streaming is incremental transmitted remote recording. Briefly, I will review the roles-based approach to live streams that we have found effective as a draft contribution into this space. So just to review some slides that we have built up over the years at the Active Inference Institute, some tips on live streams. They are totally just presented as what we have done. Other contexts are going to be different. Some of these are just general comments, though, on live streamings that you might find useful. Respecting the context and audience. Being clear and consensual about how words and images are being captured and recorded and used. Joining on time or understanding when and how people are going to be joining if it's a live recording. For people in any role on the live stream, having a comfortable setup for them. And in terms of buying a webcam or microphone, if you can, there are sometimes good microphones available, new or renewed, that are quite good and will get you very far, almost up into the professional level of recording. The microphone that I'm speaking with now, a condenser microphone that was probably $30 to $40 US in 2020. Webcam, of course, similar. There's a lot of different ways to make your visual appearance how you want to be seen, from having a higher resolution webcam or lighting or different things. There's different video options. In terms of your computer, for reasons of digital and cognitive bandwidth, it's good to close any and all extra programs so there's no messaging alerts or distractions, things popping up on the screen. These are for people who are going to be talking or even just participating in the live stream, and using appropriate language and behavior. Different things that people may want to ask before a live stream and different protocols that participants might want to be familiar with in terms of how they can participate. For people who are going to share their screen, it's really important to cover up all the extra information, close all other windows or use a separate computer so that there's no possibility of sharing the wrong window, and make sure that you figured that out before the live stream if possible. The broadcaster, the person who's using OBS, has some different checks that they could make in terms of all the scenes and the settings, the audio included and balanced, visuals, the stream key and the video resolutions, which can't be changed live, the internet bitrate, the video bitrate, which can be adjusted during the stream. This computer especially, it's important to close even messaging applications. They can disrupt some network continuity. And to be ready. Facilitator, a little bit outside the scope of this video, but whatever facilitation style is relevant. And live streams are organized events, so ensuring that the organizer is also part of all these conversations and the planning and all of that. So I hope in this video, with the fundamental equation of recording or live streaming, video equals audio plus visual. Visual, what you see is what you get. Audio, capture and balance the correct audio. You have the broader framework to head into this very general tool, OBS. Compose the audio and the visuals that you expect and prefer. Test, you can do a private live stream. You can also do recordings. It's good to do recording and make sure that the audio and the visuals are how you expect them to be. And then you can go live and go from there. And the last piece, I hope that was useful. Looking forward to people's contributions and improvements to the space. Bye.